Two men changed the world of engineering forever. One of them was born into poverty. The other was born into luxury. And together, they created a machine so perfect, people said it felt alive. This is how Rolls-Royce was invented. Henry Royce grew up with almost nothing. His father died when he was young, and by the age of 9, he was already working small jobs just to survive. He sold newspapers, delivered telegrams, and did whatever work he could find. But inside him was something rare, a mind that refused to accept good enough. Royce taught himself engineering with no formal university education, no wealthy family behind him, and no famous mentor. Just curiosity, determination, and an obsession with making things better. Royce began building electric motors, then cranes, and eventually decided he wanted to build a car. But not just any car. He wanted to build the best car anyone had ever seen. In 1904, after countless experiments and failures, he completed his first automobile, the Royce 10 horsepower. It was small, quiet, and remarkably smooth. So refined was the little machine that people said it didn't feel like a machine at all. Meanwhile, Charles Rolls lived a completely different life. Born into a wealthy family, Rolls was educated at Cambridge and developed a passion for speed, racing, and flying. He became one of Britain's early automobile dealers, selling expensive European cars to wealthy customers. But there was one problem. Rolls hated the cars he sold. They rattled, they broke down, they leaked, and they seemed to fail at exactly the wrong moment. Rolls wanted something different. He wanted a car that wouldn't break, wouldn't complain, and wouldn't disappoint him. Then, one day, Charles Rolls heard rumors about a remarkable little car built by a relatively unknown engineer in Manchester. The car was said to run more smoothly than anything else in Britain. Curious, Rolls traveled to Manchester to meet the mysterious engineer. On May 4, 1904, at the Midland Hotel, Charles Rolls met Henry Royce. Royce arrived with his small silver car. Rolls took the wheel. He drove the car for several minutes. And then he stopped. He had never experienced anything like it. Rolls turned to Royce and made an extraordinary proposition. "Mr. Royce, I want to sell every car you ever make." There was no lengthy contract. No lawyers. No complicated negotiations. Just a handshake. That handshake marked the beginning of one of the most famous partnerships in engineering history, Rolls-Royce. Together, the two men created something legendary, the Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost. It became famous for its extraordinary smoothness, silence, and reliability. The engine was so smooth that people claimed you could balance a coin on it while it was running. The car was so quiet that passengers sometimes wondered whether the engine was even switched on. And its reliability became legendary. The Silver Ghost completed a journey of more than 23,000 kilometers without a major breakdown, helping establish Rolls-Royce as a symbol of engineering excellence. Newspapers began calling it the best car in the world. Rolls brought the vision, Royce brought the engineering, and together, they created a masterpiece. But greatness came with tragedy. In 1910, Charles Rolls died in a plane crash. He was only 32 years old. Royce was devastated, but he continued working. His company moved increasingly into aircraft engines, developing engines that would become enormously important to aviation. Among them was the legendary Merlin engine, which powered aircraft including the famous Spitfire during World War II. Rolls-Royce engines would later help power the jet age and become a major part of modern aviation. The company that had begun with two men and a handshake had become an engineering powerhouse. And that is the real story of Rolls-Royce. It isn't just a story about luxury cars. It's a story about two very different men. One came from poverty. The other was born into privilege. One was obsessed with engineering. The other was obsessed with speed, adventure, and possibility. But both shared the same belief. Good enough was never enough. Their invention wasn't simply a car. It was a promise. A promise that machines could be engineered with extraordinary precision. A promise that reliability could become an art. And a promise that human beings could take an idea and make it extraordinary. It all began with a poor engineer, a wealthy adventurer, and a handshake that changed history.